Cyclone Garance has slammed the French territory of Réunion with top wind speeds of 155 kilometers per hour. It brought heavy rain, blew away roofs and windows of many buildings. It also cut power to well over 100,000 homes on the Indian Ocean island. Authorities say the worst is now over and they've downgraded the storm, but a mandatory order to stay indoors remains in place. Journalist Raissa Ioussouf works extensively in Réunion. She joined me earlier from nearby Madagascar and told us the latest on the situation there.
Well, the French territory of La Réunion Island is still on a red alert because of Cyclone Garance. And there have been some impressive images of floods, especially in the north of the territory and in Saint-Denis, which is a city in the north of La Réunion. So there are several neighborhoods who are still underwater, which is quite extraordinary. And you can see images of cars partially immersed in water or carried away by violent streams. And there are still some violent winds and still raining. And at the moment, there are over 140,000 people who are without electricity on the island. So that's 30% of the clients, and 10% do not have access to drinkable water. So there are also 600 people, over 600 people who are now staying in emergency local shelters opened by our authorities. So these are people who have lost their homes or who are living in fragile housing conditions. And earlier today in the morning, there was a story of this pregnant woman with a 4-year-old daughter whose house collapsed in the center of La Réunion Island in La Plaine des Palmistes. And she said that she was rescued, fortunately, and she's not injured. But she was saying that she was very scared because she does not have a home and she has a baby on the way and a toddler.
An absolutely terrifying situation to be in. In addition to those immediate needs of getting water and electricity, is it clear what kind of help will be most needed?
So now the prefect has already said what he plans to do in the immediate future. So sending working groups in the field when it's possible to evaluate the damage. For example, trees fallen on the road, roofs who have been ripped off, things like that. He also plans on visiting the most affected areas, which are in the north and in the east. And it's not clear yet. We don't have a clear picture exactly of the damage. But if a cyclone Belal, which was just last year in January 2024, is any indication, there could be some big property damage. And in that case, the help needed would be the most vulnerable people, but also help the farmers and also help the economy.
And in terms of the cyclone itself, at this point, is the worst danger past for the island?
Fortunately, it is. So the cyclone reached the island at 10 a.m. local time today, and it was actually purple alert at that time, which is the highest, meaning that everyone, including emergency care services, were on lockdown. So now it's red alert, meaning it's still high and the population is still on lockdown, but the police and emergency care workers can go out and help people. And now the cyclone is at the south of the island, so there are still some violent winds, but it's losing its intensity, and hopefully, like, the eye of the cyclone is past La Réunion Island.
Journalist Raissa Ioussouf, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. We very much appreciate your insights today.